Hello everyone, and Guten Tag to our friends in Germany. Today I'm going to be taking a look at the Panzer IV Schmalturm medium premium tank in the German line. So you can see this guy pops in down here. And the other medium tank that is available is the T25, and it costs about 1,500 gold. This thing is, I think it was like 3,000? No, 3,750 purchase cost. It says right there. But I got it when it was on sale, so it was a little bit less than that. In real dollar money, I think it was more like around $18 to $20, I think. But I needed a trainer tank for the VK line that I'm going down. So that was the purpose of getting it. Taking a look at the stats, comes in at about 730 hit points, and compared to some other tanks that are at tier 6, my brand new A43, it's got 660, so it's a little bit higher on the hit points. What else do I have? That one's got 750. Jumbo's only got 730 because it doesn't have the big turret. Farmel's got 750. So hit point wise, it sits pretty good there. It's not too high, not too low. The weight is about 30 tons. And the engine power is only 300, which means this thing has a really kind of garbage horsepower to ton ratio. So it's about 10. Fast tanks are like 25 to 20. Medium tanks are kind of like the Panther, I think it's around 15. So this thing is quite chuggy. It doesn't like to climb hills very well, especially the big hill on Himmelsdorf. Doesn't like to go up there. And it can't aim down exceedingly well, so you either crest that hill and get up there or you don't. So it says the speed limit's 48, but it takes a while for it to get there, and that's only like on cobblestone, so you're not going to get there on soft ground. It takes too long, and the engine power is too crap. So speed demon, this thing is not. There's no Schnell here. The traverse speed is 36, which is pretty okay, so it turns alright compared to how fast it is. So I guess it's agile in a close space, but it isn't going to win any speed battles, quarter-mile races. So the armor, pretty much exactly the same as what you get on a Panzer IV at tier 5. You get 80 in the front with next to no sloping, same weak spots all over the front. That's weak spot, that's weak spot. This whole lower part, anywhere down here, will damage critical parts of the tank. And your sides and back are 30 and 20. Anything will go in through here and hurt you really badly. The sides have these really neat looking armor guards. I think it's called like slat armor. Someone's going to know what this armor is called. I can't remember. Cage armor. And this was basically used to stop like RPG type rounds from hitting the side of the tank and going through, and it would help make them explode out here as opposed to hitting the side of the hull of the tank, as far as I'm aware. In this game, it does not stop AP rounds or APCR rounds. What it will do is help, from what I've read on like actual like wargaming, the website, it will help prevent explosive damage. So if a shell, like an arty shell, drops right here, it should help disperse some of that damage. Whether it does that in actuality, I haven't had arty shooting at me too much in this thing because it's not the most dangerous tank on the field usually. Moving on to the turret. This is the turret that the Panzer IV used to have until they ripped it off and gave it its spaced armor turret, which really doesn't base armor anything. Like you just get wasted with that with the Panzer IV's turret. This turret is a lot better. It really transforms this tank. You can actually poke over stuff and take some hits, but this area is fairly flat. It does have a little bit of sloping. The armor is very thick though. It's 120 in the front, but it's on the sides it's only 60 and 60, but it's more sloped on the sides, I think, than it is on the front. So either way, try and keep the the armor at least pointed like this. See if you can bounce some shots this way and that way. You do have a weak spot on the top. It sticks out fairly prominently, so you can get shots at that. And I assume this hatch maybe at the back might be a weak spot, might not. Moving on to the gun. This gun is your crowd favorite L70 gun, 75 millimeters. Rate of fire is about 13 rounds downrange a minute, 150 pen, 135 damage, 0.35 accuracy, 2.3 aiming time. And you're going to be shooting AP rounds and APCR rounds out of this guy. So if you've driven any number of German tanks, you're going to be pretty familiar with this gun. It's on this guy here, the VK3001H at tier 5 now. The VK3601 has it, the VK3001P has it, the VK3002M has it, the VK3001D has it. So if you've gone through any of those tanks, you have a pretty good idea what the gun's capable of. It's pretty competitive against, well, anything below it, like tier 5, tier 4 tanks, it rips them apart. When it gets to tier 6 tanks, it still is very competitive. Tier 7 tanks, it still isn't too bad at all. If you really need to penetrate, you can always shoot APCR rounds. But against tier 8 tanks, you're going to have a little bit more trouble. I'm not sure if this thing actually reaches tier 8 tanks. I've only played about 20 games in it, but so far I'm enjoying it, and my service record in it's actually in the 70s, so that's quite good. So, taking a look at the turret traverse, it is another weak spot of this tank. You're going to want to turn your hull as you turn your turret, so you can try and speed that up. Otherwise, you will be able to get circled by just about anything. If you just sit there and try and count on the 24, that's not very good. So the view range is 370, which is okay. It's not fantastic. For a sniper tank, you kind of hope this thing would be more like 380 maybe. But I guess it is tier 6, and maybe it doesn't get better view range than an M5 or M4 Sherman. So the signal range is 620, which is not too bad, not great, not poor. My crew that I'm training in this is currently, they came from the VK3001D, and which I've since sold and bought the less than stellar, so far in my opinion, VK3002D. So this is the crew from them, so they're only at 97%. And you never really want to take crew skills to complement this tank unless you love it enough to give it its own crew. But that's probably after you've maybe used it all up for all the training purposes that it's going to be used for. So as a premium tank, if you're not aware, you can take your crew, which is, this is my crew from the VK, you take them out, you send them to the garage if they were in this tank, and then you put them in here, and even though this is red, it says the crew members does not have specialization on the Panzer IV-S, but he can use his skills and perks. If this number goes red, that means you've done something wrong. And when it just says 97 and it's gray like everything else, then you're fine. It doesn't matter that this is red. So just keep that in mind. Whenever you have a crew, or whenever you buy these tanks, do not buy it with a crew. Just take your crews out of your other tanks, dump them out into the barracks, and then put them back into this. So if you have any questions about that, just ping me in the comment section. I've had to run a few people through it before, so I'll be more than glad to help with that. And that's pretty much about it on this guy. I put a gun leg drive on it so I can shoot faster, or I mean aim faster. This one's to shoot faster. And then I actually put coated optics on it because I want to see a little bit further. Because if you can see further, you can shoot further. And since I am fairly mobile with the way I drive and play, I chose not to go with the binos, even though I would get farther view range. I prefer the mobility, even if the view range of 10% isn't as good as the 25%. So, as far as shells go, I take about 40 out into the field. I could take more. I haven't really played it maybe enough to want to up this amount yet. I haven't run out of shells, so I take 15 APCR rounds just in case, and 5 HE rounds for resetting. I just take regular stuff for this. Small repair kit, small first aid kit, and small fire extinguisher. Some of the weak spots of this tank are like right down in here where you can get your engine taken out. So if you can hide any part, the lower part of your tank and get hull down, do it. Alright, that's about it for the garage review. I'm going to be taking you into some of the better replays that I had, including the very first replay I had where I got my first class mastery badge in the very first game I had. So, let's do that. See you soon. Alright, this is the very first game I had in the Panzer IV. This one was on Himmelsdorf. And I'm just going to speed it up slightly here. As you can see on the cobblestones, I'm doing about 38. It says I can actually do 48, but I assume that's maybe only downhill. So I'm just trying to see if there's anyone over there while still keeping some of my more vital parts covered up. Most of our heavy tanks have headed up the hill, and I don't recommend taking this tank up onto the hill. Its lower hull is too vulnerable, and you can't keep it hull down very easily. Especially if you're so slow to climb up there, the other tanks are going to reach the top, especially Hellcat, before you crest, and you're just going to get shot up. So some games with the Panzer IV are like this, where you sit for a little bit. So it doesn't look like anyone's coming down Death Alley here. So I'm going to move up. And I'm all by myself. No one else has seemingly wanted to come over this way. So I'm just peeking around here. And I spotted Churchill in the middle. So I'm going to go take some shots at him. And from here, I can't really tell that he's using the stock turret. I'm like, why are my shots going in? Is because the stock turret on the Churchill is like way better than the normal turret. So I wasted a whole bunch of shots by not shooting him in the hull where he is more vulnerable. But luckily, most of these shots here are just going to ping off me. I think those ones were one off the side of my turret, one off the front of the top. So he's shooting at my turret, which is good. Well, that shot did go in. I gotta try and get rid of this guy. I don't want to be caught up with too long. That one was a little bit low. Come on. Bam. Alright, so first blood. Very first blood in the Panzer IV. The stock Churchill. And unfortunately now we can see there's a KV-1 who's driven up behind us. And here, I should have let that shot fully aim, and that shot just went completely nowhere near where I thought it was going to go. That one bounces. It's like the worst shooting ever here. So I finally just decided to aim down. Alright. See the KV-1 sitting there, and I take another shot from him in the side. I'm not being very careful here. And I thought maybe I'll go after the RD, but I think I better wait here and take care of this KV-1. So I was just peeking around the corner there. I'm going to try and get a shot at him as he's moving. That one bounces off me. I'm just trying to stay angled here. Put another one into him. He bounces. And that's pretty much all she wrote on that one. Ended up getting 3 kills. That was a first class mastery badge, believe it or not, for killing 2 tier 5 tanks. And yeah. And killing one of the artillery. So I did about 1,300 damage, and I was able to bounce a few shots with the turret. And I think I bounced maybe a couple shots up the front of the armor. It looks like that one actually went in, and maybe something clipped off the top of there on the left front panel. But yeah, the armor, maybe not fantastic. Any of those side shots we're gonna go straight through. You can see where that one went through the cage armor on the side. It went straight through the side. All right, let's go to the next replay. Defending on Karelia. So off to my left there, you can see there's a VK 3002D. He's probably running the 88. Not me, I'm running with the 75. Oh yeah. So with this tank, you try not to move too far forward. You don't want to be one of the frontline tanks. Spot an MT-25 here and try and get a shot on him. It's hard to tell which way he's gonna go and shoot. I don't know. I guess that missed. I thought that was a pretty decent shot. I didn't think that would miss. Just seeing if I can get shots at these guys, and no, there's no way I'm gonna get shots at those guys, so I might as well just pull back here. I'm just gonna speed things up a little bit until a little bit of action happens. And I spot a Hellcat out in the field here. Just trying to get a vector on him, but he must be behind rocks somewhere. Wow, this guy's out in the middle of nowhere. Shot goes low, I didn't fully aim it. And unfortunately that one bounced. And that one missed. So I'm not really showing off the accuracy of myself. Yeah, that blind shot didn't go in either. So I'm hoping he might maybe drive up there, but oh, we spotted T-43. And I know I can penetrate him in the hull. I mean, I've got maybe a side shot there. And he moves, so I'm going to try and get it, pre-aim him. That one goes in. And then he goes stealth mode, because this game has stupid visibility mechanics. And that one went to the left and hit the rock instead of hitting him. And oh, look at this. Nice. Broadside KV1. Really nice damage roll there. 152. 137. I'm hoping he's just in the same spot, but he appears to have moved. I don't have shots at either one of these two guys down here. I do get that shot in though. I don't know what he was doing. Every tank that I've seen does that, gets stuck in that ravine. Driving over that edge there. It's a really stupid idea. So, there's one tank down. Took a speculative shot there. I wouldn't have been able to... That, if it would have hit him, it would have gone in. So I'm driving forward here because I want to see if I can get shots on this guy to see if he's paying attention. Took a quick snapshot there. Good roll, 148. Loading this one up. That one goes right through his gun mantlet. That was really nice. I'm at 200 meters here, so the shot should be... I shouldn't be losing any velocity on it. Get a back shot on Jumbo. It's good to get those shots at the Jumbo while I can get his side. So I took a shot from him there because I know he's not going to be able to do too much damage to me with his gun. I think he was just running the normal gun. Now our IS-2 is accusing our T-29 of cheating.
Das muss wehtun.
And that one maybe could have gone in, but it decided to bounce instead. That one totally misses. I'm just taking these shots to back him off anyway. Things are looking bad for our team at this point. So I'm just trying to rack up as much damage as I can and not take too many hits. So I'm trying to angle my armor as I come out. Put another one through the turret of the T-43. Sometimes that turret's pretty bouncy, but for him, it wasn't happening today. I put 2 straight through his turret. So I know there's tanks coming from behind me. I know there's tanks coming from the front. They've got a huge tank advantage now. I've got to decide which way I'm going to try and defend from. I don't think that T-43 is going to stick his nose out again. The T-29 seems to want to just puts out. And the MT-25 shot me with his little rapid-fire baby gun. Luckily for him, though, I'm one of the few tanks he could probably penetrate, because if he can shoot me from the side, he can do a lot of damage to me. Yeah. Now it's pretty much a one-shot, almost. He did 600 something plus damage to me with his gun, and the armor on this thing isn't sufficient enough to stop that guy. So yeah, that was a loss, but in the end, I think the tank showed it was pretty accurate. If you aim it down completely fully, the gun's pretty good at hitting what you aim it at. Welcome to the Siegfried Line. I'm just gonna head out into the field here. I figure my talents are best used where I can use maybe some of my view range, which is, well, it's probably 370 plus 10%, somewhere around 410, I think. 400 and 400-ish. So I should be able to see most tanks before they can see me, especially if there's anything heavy out here. So I'm going to drive up here, and it's me in a T-28 prototype. I'm going to push this tree over so I have a little bit of cover. And I've got a shot at a side of the KV-5. Yeah, that one probably wasn't going to go in. I think that was like 700 yards, 700 meters. It was quite the ways. So I'm sitting here, I spot the Lukes. Hit him for 142, and then again for 146. Getting some nice rolls there. And I thought I might be able to clip him there, but either moved or I missed him. And it says it's yellow, but I'm probably losing like a lot of the shell velocity on. So I switched to a premium round. Precisely when he decides to pull back. And like, screw this crap. I'm not shooting at you anymore. I'm not wasting my shells. So the T-28 has moved up, and I assume his view range is probably in around 400. I'm going to try and use this ridge as cover for myself, and let the T-28 find where I'm shooting at. But there's a truck in my way, so I'm going to have to blast this truck. And I will be able to penetrate this guy no problem, because his turret is inferior to my turret. And that shot goes a little bit wide. He takes one from the T-28. Nice high roll there, 140. lower roll there, but that was enough to kill him, so 125 is pretty good. So we've made ourselves fairly useful here. I'm able to shoot at and damage the Lukes. And I'm able to shoot and damage the other tier 6. So we removed them from the battle. And we kept our arties safe. And this is just a stroke of luck. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to get in beside this bunker here so I can pull back into cover when I need to. But I'm going to wait for this Tiger 2 to get more broadside on me here. I take a shot there, but now I'm just going to pre-aim him a little bit. And he's worried about something, but I don't think he sees me yet. So I'm just flabbergasted that he's done this. And now I'm going to light him up. I'm going to aim at the side of his turret because the other one bounced. And that one goes in. And now he's giving me his full side. I'm like, thank you. Like, this is an absolute dream for this tank. Tiger 2 that's just going to give you his side. Such a big target. Almost impossible to miss. Nice high roll there. But he gets taken out by the T-28 prototype, but I did a buttload of damage to him. This game is looking pretty much foregone conclusion over. They've only got 4 tanks left, 2 of them are the arty, so. And the other guy, the T-28, was his last shot was a gold round. I didn't need no gold rounds. I was shooting with stock rounds. Ha 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 ha. This tank is pretty good because it generates quite a lot of credits. In a couple of the more decent battles I had, I earned like 70,000 credits for this tank. So you can rack up anywhere from like 13 to 2,000 damage in it. I think in this game I did about 2,500 damage. You can really make a lot of money. So this is another dream shot. You're not going to get too many games where you get the side and back of 2 Panther 2s in a row, or Tiger 2s. And I laid him on fire. And then someone drives in and steals the kill. Because he would have burned to death for sure. I don't think he had a fire extinguisher. Anyone who buys a Tiger should pretty much... A Tiger 1 or a Tiger 2 should automatically just... Small fire extinguisher or an automatic one if you don't feel like burning for an extra second before you hit the button. So, didn't take a lick of damage in that game. That was almost like a dream game for this tank, or almost any tank. But for this tank, like, I was pretty far away. Like, I was in about G2 shooting at the Tiger 2 there. So I was about 300 and something meters away. I was able to hit a lot of my shots, and I don't think I missed the Tiger 2, but some of them did bounce. But I was able to light him up really good. I was able to take out that other tier 6 tank really well, the VK3001D, and the looks is no problem. But yeah, if you can get this tank around the sides and flanks of heavier tanks, the L70 is more than enough to get in. Do I like this tank? So far, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's not very fast. It's one of the big detractors of it. The turret turns really slow. That's another bad thing about it. The armor in the hull is crap because it's tier 5 armor. You have to angle it to hope to bounce anything. You've got big weak points all over the front, and the sides and the back are huge weak points. The sides and the back of the turret aren't superiorly strong, but the front of your turret and the gun mantlet are your strong weak points as far as the armor goes. I really like this gun. I actually like the L70 more than I like the Short 88 because of the penetration and the accuracy is better. And I'm glad that this gun is on this tank and not the other one. So the alpha damage for this tank is good because it's the L70. The things you got to look out for really just trying to be hull down. As far as the other stuff goes, it generates lots of credits. So you get a fair bit more experience. And if I had to choose between this tank and the T-25, I'll choose the L-70 or over whatever gun they've given the T-25, because I found that the Tier 5 tanks, they really mangle the guns, and they're usually really totally inferior. Like the T-14's gun is awful. It's a Tier 4 gun. But on certain other premium tanks, like on the T-34, it gets a really good gun. So there's a little bit of consistency problems with how Wargaming likes to kind of nerf their premium tanks in certain ways. I don't know if the T-34 has other glaring problems anywhere. I don't have one, but it seems to be superior to the T-32, and that usually isn't the case in most cases, especially with the Tier 5 premium tanks. There usually is something glaringly wrong. And in this case, this tank has a hull of a Tier 5 tank. So I think it looks really cool. I think aesthetically it looks neat. I even it's a tank I intend on keeping, and I enjoy driving, so I put camo on it. I guess the only other advantage of this tank is that you want to do the crew training on it. That's really important part of owning a premium tank. And that's pretty much it for this review. If you enjoyed it, I hope you did. I'll be doing some more replays pretty soon here this week, and I'll be doing a review of the T-29 soon, so look forward to that. And if you enjoyed the video, you can subscribe or hit the like button, and that would really help me out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Keep your armor to the front.